Cool, boys. So we know the state of the refereeing in the Prem right now. I would say it's abysmal.
Horror.
I don't know what anyone else thinks, yeah? I think it's abysmal. And seeing Anthony Taylor get relegated to the... I know it was a game. It's not like for the rest of the season. But for me, I don't know if that's a statement of the Prem saying, look, we're showing the referees you have to be up to standard or we're going to drop you. Or it's just all like
For sure.
part of the show. That's what I'm saying, for show. So they're really trying to show they're taking that, but really they don't really care.
It is for sure. They don't.
Yeah, I think it's for sure. I think if they actually cared about the refs and the standard of refereeing in the league, I don't think we'd see English referees anymore.
But I don't think
think
we ain't got enough referees.
Yeah, I know that's a problem. Firstly, there's a whole like structure issue with it anyway.
Who wants to ref?
Yeah,
bro?
firstly, who grows
No one
up
wants
and
to
thinks
ref.
I want to be a
I
referee?
kind
wants to
of
play.
want to be a ref though.
That's why there's something wrong with you.
Never in a million years.
But the thing about refereeing, yeah, so you got to start at the bottom.
Yeah.
And I know from Sunday League, I've heard refs get rushed, like, bro. You got to remember, you got to work your way up in it. So not many man want to ref Sunday League games, bro.
The thing, yeah, and because I was gonna say in the Prem, you're actually quite protected as a ref. Like you will never see a man try to fight a ref or anything.
Nothing.
Because the repercussions for players when it comes to
Bro,
refereeing.
you're not meant to fight a ref at all, bro.
Yeah,
Why-
no, but as in like it won't even cross your mind.
Oh, yeah.
Sunday League obviously it crosses
Sunday
your
League
mind,
is-
but Prem it will never even cross your mind because bro, Van Dijk got fined like 80k and got a red card for swearing at the ref.
Yeah, G,
I got
it's a
an
swear word.
extra ban on top as well. So yeah, they're hella protected, but like I said, I don't think they care enough. Honestly, I think the structure's messed up because like we said, no one grows up thinks I want to be a ref. Who grows up thinking, I want to stop a fight between Konate and flipping Traore, bro? Like no one thinks it, bro. Like you're not trying to get in the middle of them two guys. So. But
Do you think they need to change the rules?
I don't think the rules need to be changed.
No, like get refs internationally.
Yes, yeah.
I think so.
So I think there's a whole debate about like refereeing, and people usually tie it in with the rules of the game. I know this isn't like a very popular opinion. So like people will say, the refs are bad, but also on top of this, the offside rules messed up. Like how we discuss what's a red card foul, what's not a red card foul is messed up.
It's like the general football talk.
Yeah.
Do you think there's bias in English refs?
Of course.
I think for me, being a football fan and being from England, there's always teams I prefer than other teams. No matter if I'd support them or not.
You can't take the full bias out of it.
Or if I support one Prem team and I need this team to win, even as a ref, bro, no matter how much, it's always going to be hard to not be biased.
I know this is like conspiracies or whatnot, but like when you look at like the demographic of refs and whatnot, a lot of them will grow up in towns where like big six teams will reside.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of them are from Manchester, from London, will like support Arsenal growing up, United, Liverpool, whatever it may be, right? So even when you take into account smaller teams in the league, chances are you'll see decisions go in favour of big six
and
teams.
also another thing as well, which people forget, is that a lot of refs, like some of them are failed footballers, or they're just like they love football the same way how like fans and everybody does as well.
Which is like a double-edged sword, because when you love football like that much, we spoke about it on the VAR video, when you love football that much, you have a better understanding of the game, which means you're a bit more inclined to be a better referee, but also it just means your bias sways you a lot more.
Way more.
And you're, even when it comes to your vision of the game and like your interpretation of the game might sway from the rule book sometimes, just because of what you deem as a foul compared to what is actually a foul in the rule book. Which is that's what I was telling into. In my opinion, the rule book of the game currently isn't even that bad.
I can't lie, I don't even know the rule book.
So for example, the red card challenges we've seen this season, where like Romero's red card, for example, in the Chelsea game, that for me is a red card. He gets the ball, but he follows through and he 2-foots him high challenge onto the leg. People are challenging that, saying that shouldn't be a red card in today's game. It's too soft.
You know what it is now?
I think that's a red card.
But for me, I think it's you got to look at the force. Like Fabio Vieira got a red card.
Yeah.
For me, that's a small itty bitty player. He's missed the ball.
Yeah.
Like for me, like obviously that challenge warrants under the red card. But if you look at the situation, he's not slid in. He's not gone under any intent.
It's the same with us against Tottenham with the Curtis Jones one as well. He gets the ball and then his foot slips onto it. Those ones, I don't mind if it's a red.
I thought he got yellow. I thought that was the second yellow.
No, it was a red.
Jota got 2.
Yeah, Jota got 2.
It's 50. It's them ones are 50-50.
Yeah, they're 50-50.
Even though it's not in the Prem, even what is it? Rashford's one in Copenhagen.
Yeah.
See that one, I wake up and I think yes and no. For me, it's like obviously he's shielded.
No,
the ball.
Rashford's one's not a red. That's
But-
the.
But the
shielding the
actual
ball.
action, like
But
the
you look at the
actual
action of
what
it, bro.
happened,
Bro,
It's
is
a
I
red
can't lie,
challenge.
yeah. When you're playing, you don't look where your foot's going. You're looking.
Yeah, you
don't-
go for the ball first.
So
if you're
Yeah, but it's because he wasn't going for the ball, bro. If you
But-
look at the
okay,
challenge,
but,
he
but
didn't go for the
he
ball.
was
That's why they
he
gave
was
it a
trying to
red.
guard the ball. Yeah, he's not looking where he can't control where the other guy's gonna place his foot. So he's just going to step down now. But cool, he's put the ankle. Yeah, but if like cool, when you make a challenge, you're looking at the player. Cool, I understand. Then it's a different scenario. If you're looking ahead and at the ball, how you can't control where your foot's gonna land.
But it's because if you look at the challenge, you could tell he wanted to get in front of him by his foot placement.
But he didn't.
Because he
What he
didn't
did,
go for the
it wasn't
ball.
violent conduct. It wasn't. He didn't mean to hurt the player. He didn't have any intentions to make a foul. He intended to look after the ball, and we've seen like whether or not he touched the ball or not, he was protecting the ball. He didn't. The player came from behind, and the players tried to get the ball.
So this is what I was gonna say. Yeah. So the reason why I don't mind if that's a red card is because I think it's a lot harder to judge someone's intention of their challenge. It's a lot easier as what the current rule book is if it looks and
Okay,
and
so,
if
do you think the Rashford one's a red card? Yes or no?
yes, I think it's a red
Okay,
card.
so how is the Van Dijk one not a red card?
The Van Dijk one was a red card. Based on the rule book, it's a red card.
Okay.
We may not agree with that. We may not think it should be. But what I was trying to say is it's a lot easier to judge based on what you see rather than judge based on what you think someone's intention is. Because at the end of the day, referees can't read the player's mind.
The only person who knows his intention is Rashford. Bro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier to just base it off, cool, Curtis Jones may not have meant to slide the ball, obviously, from his foot on the ball to my man's ankle. But it's a lot easier to just judge it based on what you've seen than think, Curtis Jones may not have meant that. Because so I don't mind if that's a rule book. I'm happy with it. I just need to see consistency. And that's the problem with the refs. Is we see the same decision be flipped a week after, or maybe even in the same game week, the game after. That's the problem I'm seeing with it right now.
What do we think about the handballs as well? Now, because that I think that rule changed. No matter what,
I feel like that's changed every season for the last 3
it's
seasons.
confusing, bro.
I think it's confusing, but I also think it's terrible for the game.
Like, growing up here, we had the standard of rules that we followed for like 10, 15 years kind of thing.
Yeah.
Recently, they keep changing it every season.
Yeah.
And so I feel like they don't know what the
And I feel now it's the worst.
It's the worst, bro.
Like the element of
That's
subjectivity is
for me,
the biggest thing.
that
bro.
Saliba one was the pinnacle because how can the man jump with no arms?
Yeah,
bro?
yeah.
Like you can't tell me
I think
to jump with no arms.
What's made it worse is they've changed it from like the shoulder to the thing. Like just keep it from the shoulder downward, bro. That's all your arm.
I think where the sleeve ends, that's fine.
No,
below
that's
the
dumb.
sleeve is
No,
a-
because
is
that's
a-
stupid.
is
Because
a handball.
everyone's got different sleeve lengths, bro. It doesn't make it logically it makes
I
zero
guess so,
sense.
yeah.
Like if your sleeve rides up here now, well then how do you judge it? It makes no sense.
Okay, yeah.
If you do it from the shoulder,
or maybe elbow downwards.
For me, I think if the ball hits you here, that's too
fine.
high to be handball
That's
for
fine.
me. I
Guys
think it's
shoulder the ball to touch it.
Yeah, but I think it's like from about here below. I think maybe even just forearm, bro.
There's different rules within the rule of handball as well. So like one of the ones I actually like and I actually agree with is if the goal scorer, if they handball it to like touch it to then score, and no matter of how like subjective the handball is, if it's hit somewhere on their hand, I don't think that goal should stand
That's
because at the end of the day,
because they
that's
shouldn't
how
have.
that hand has helped them
impacted.
score the goal.
I
That's
agree
fine.
with that.
I agree with that rule. But like you lot said, it's the subjectivity of on like just a random part of play. So if it hits my hand here and I've jumped and my hand naturally just moves up a bit and it then hits my hand and that's a handball, I'm sorry, that shouldn't be right.
It's
But
ridiculous.
where do we go from that? How do we change that?
Because you can't go back. Because you can't implement this rule and then say,
That's the issue.
oh, we're going to go back to what
the
we
guys,
did.
the higher ups are
what
too
we're
stubborn. They won't go back. We've seen it before. They would rather change the rule again and like progress it even further to make it even more strict than just go back and make it more lenient.
But they would go back.
You think?
Yeah, if pressure comes, of course.
I think they've
All
seen
the
enough.
they
time.
fold.
All the time, bro.
I think it'll get to like a bottom where they either have to go back or they have to get referees from a new country, and they don't have the balls to go get a referee from another country to ref the best.
And the thing is, they have the money to
I
do
think
it
the
as
only
well.
way they go back is if the players say it's not the fans. They don't give a fuck about the fans. No matter what happens, everyone's buying a ticket. They're still going to that game.
regardless. Yeah,
Let's say, for example, a bad pen gets given away from that handball. Both teams agree to miss the pen. Something like that. That's the only way they think, let's change the rules, bro.
The teams decided not to play anymore.
Okay, question. Do you lot think there should be something implemented where like each team, I know they have this in another sport as well, I don't know what sport it is, but each manager will have like one call a game where they're able to like challenge the ref.
I agree.
No. What you need to get an
agree.
independent body to ref these games. You can't have the FA or the PGML doing the VAR.
It's not the same though.
Ideally, get international refs, in my opinion.
You don't even have to get international refs to ref the game. Get international refs to control the VAR. Because if you have international refs to control VAR,
But also, if you're speaking on VAR as well, I think the reason why we think refereeing is so bad these days is because of VAR. Like, talk about VAR.
No, but the thing is,
talk about VAR itself. But the amount in the past, bro, we never used to look at challenges like this, bro. Every single challenge we're looking over and over again. Every game, I'm trying to picture myself as the ref and thinking, how is he looking at it?
I also think it's bad is because like. You never hear any of the other leagues complain about the decision, and they all got VAR. So we're comparing the referee to other referee. That's where we got the standard from.
But I think it's I think we don't trust the refs no more, bro.
No, but we're
not happy in decisions at all.
We watch the World Cup, we watch the Champions League, and we see the way that they ref the game. And we understand there's some decisions that they still kind of get wrong. And
that's always happens.
That's what happens. And that's where we just want refs that are gonna make the game a bit more enjoyable.
Yeah.
Because as fans, we watch the game and we don't enjoy the game like that anymore.
But the World Cup was proof VAR works. Because if I look back to the World Cup, VAR was perfect during the World Cup.
That's what I'm thinking. I think it was near
But
as
for
perfect,
me, but do we also think the VAR officials are under pressure because in England we like to talk about how long it takes to make the decision.
Yeah.
So you think they're told you've only got this amount of time?
Yeah, of course,
I doubt
they
it
are,
though.
bro.
I
think
doubt they're given a time frame because we've seen decisions.
No, they're given a
There's
time.
only a couple. There's only a couple times where it's taken long.
Even if they're not given a time frame, they know themselves.
Themselves, it needs to be as quick as
They
possible.
know
Yeah,
themselves.
obviously they want it as quick as possible. So obviously the quicker you do things, the more prone you are to a mistake.
Mistakes. That's what
But
I'm saying.
I still think they have enough time and they're professionals. Let's not get this twisted. They're professionals. They're looking at a screen. They need to come to a decision. They know they don't have an actual time frame. They just have to do things as quick as possible. Stay composed. You're in a back room. No one's watching you.
It's not that simple though.
It is that simple.
It's not that
No one's
simple.
watching you, bro. No one knows your name.
It's not the case because you're still recorded, bro. So people, like the footage still gets released.
Yeah, but we know how that works.
No,
so
but
yeah.
Isha, like you said, it's the changing of rules and the subjectivity. They're thinking, bruh, like, I'm gonna change the outcome of this game on a 50-50 decision, which the rule has been changed. For the player doesn't know himself. Like, whoa, like what am I supposed to do?
Alright, cool. So we're on the topic of changing rules of subjectivity. Another thing about this is the offside rule.
You're funny still, you switched.
That was good though. That was good. Come on, man. So obviously, the current offside rule is just if any part that you can score a goal with or control the ball with is offside, you're offside, right? As long as that part is offside, you're offside. What Wenger wants to do, as you lot have all seen, is in the 24-25 season.
No, it makes sense.
Hold on, let me explain the rule before you get into it.
I think it makes sense, bro.
Let me explain the rule before we get into it, guys. What Wenger wants to do is if the entire attacker's body is offside, they are now offside, rather than if they're scoring a body part is offside.
No, it doesn't, because that just gives them a major advantage to attackers. It just gives,
of course,
because more often than not, the attacker is faster than the defender. 90% of the time.
Yeah.
If they get half a yard of space ahead, it's a long day. Because number one, the attacker's always going to be facing goal. The defender's either going to be side on or facing back, depending on that. So it's a long day. It's going to make it so flipping hard for defenders to. First of all, they have to adjust to the new rule on creating a line, which is one step above, which is even harder to control.
Exactly.
The pace they're not going to be able to recover. It just ruins the game for defending.
And let me add something else on top of that. Yeah, I think people are under the illusion it's going to get rid of debates and subjectivity. I think instead of checking lines for if they're offside or not and it being black or white, it'll be black and white.
What are you trying to say?
It'll be black and white now. But the issue people will now have is, say half a man's ankle is onside and the rest of them is offside. People are now going to throw a fit about that because technically they'll now be onside.
The margins will be so much more
99% of a man could be offside, offside, but that 1% will be onside. So therefore they're not onside.
Now, though, that's the same.
No one will like that.
But that's the same situation for now. There was an instance where Saka was offside by a toe or an inch.
Yeah.
And so it's vice versa. For me, it's like
No, but I
it
think
gets rid of all the controversy his shoulders a millimeter
But
in
it's
front.
not. It's not fair to give attackers so much advantage.
that's
That's my
what
issue.
But when you say so much advantage, how much advantage is
It's
it?
a lot.
Is it
Okay,
really?
look, let me explain to you. Yeah? Let's say a guy like Haaland, his strides are so long, yeah. He can be a good 1.5 meters in front of the defender, and his foot can still be onside because his leg will still be near the defender.
Yeah.
That is not fair. Let's say you got I'm not going to use the world class defenders. Let me give you an example, like a Luton or a Sheffield United. Yeah, their defenders are not going to catch up to Haaland at all.
But no matter what, that defender, whether you have this onside on the new
but how
one,
is it
it's
fair?
just
But
long
how is
there.
it fair to give an attacker so much of an advantage? And especially in, let's say Champions League matches, the biggest matches of all time, yeah, all of them. How can you justify Mbappe? You give him half.
Oh,
it's a long day
It's long.
But let's look at this. Yeah?
because a lot of teams play high lines to get this offside, to play the offside rule.
And you're telling me that doesn't benefit defenders?
No,
then?
because
realistically, then the attackers will always be in front
No,
of you.
because-
If you're talking,
no.
we're talking realistically. You always get to see the attacker is
But-
in front
but-
of you, no matter what. You
No,
know
because
the only option is over the
but
top.
the thing is, there'll be no such thing as that goal side because even if you're a goal side of that player, he's gonna be onside no matter what. Even if you're because you know when you say goal side, when a ball's played, just before the ball's played, you step up to make it offside. You step up and they're still going to be onside because you're not going to step up front. You're not going to step up high enough for them to go offside.
That's what I was gonna say. What do we class as more difficult here? Because I know what side I'm on. I know it's a lot more difficult to create a high line that can play a good offside trap than it is for an attacker to try keep within that line. If that makes sense. So for an attacker, it's a lot easier to stay onside than it is for a defender to play an attacker offside. Right?
Because
Yeah,
you
it's
got to
true.
remember, and you also got to remember, it's not just the defender that's attacking that last man. It's the whole back four have to now follow.
Yeah,
and that's so hard.
If we change the Wenger's rule, the entire way teams will play football will have to change.
Yeah.
No, there'll be way
we
more
won't see
goals
high
scored,
lines
bro.
anymore. We won't see high lines.
Yeah,
anymore.
you'll literally see
Everyone will
be-
sit back
Yeah,
because no one's risking that, bro.
yeah.
No, because I think
And especially with that Edison, where he can ping the ball so far forward, it's a long day.
because with the current rule, yeah, when you think of when the offside happens, you're thinking about the body of the attacker in it. So you're thinking from here onwards, innit? But when it's hard with someone like Haaland, bro, with the wingspan, with his strides as well, he could cover maybe two
I told
meters,
you it's long day.
2 meters plus.
It's not fair.
Which will
Yeah, I hear
be
that, I hear
classed as
that.
onside,
Yeah.
innit?
Shall I be honest with you? I think the way the rule should just be is your foot. Leave it at your foot or maybe your leg.
No.
Is that
body part should
handball?
be-
Is that handball?
Yeah.
How they subjected it like that?
You
Every
can't-
other
you
body
can't,
part,
bro.
just leave it out. That's the best. I know it's not going to be
You can't.
perfect. I know, but we're
But
not
today,
going to get
it's
perfect.
probably the easiest way to rule out subjectivity.
Yeah,
But
it's not going to be perfect.
But is it the most natural?
Yeah, your leg. It's the most natural thing.
No,
But everybody runs different. Everybody's strides are different, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
also you could,
but-
and if it's somewhere where you can score with, you score with your head, score your shoulders. Like, come on.
Oh yeah, I can't like head's a good point. You know, now that I
And
think
people
about-
run like that.
But the thing
like-
is, that's what I don't think the offside rule is wrong right now. It's not an issue for me right now.
I don't think it can be right or wrong. I just think
It's not an
there's
issue.
better ones and there's worse.
No, but the
ones.
thing is, right now there's no issue with the offside rule, in my opinion. Like when there's fine margins, I understand. Like it's very hard to understand which one it is.
yeah,
but,
actually, you're not wrong.
but
Actually,
I just feel like implementing a new rule will just ruin the whole game.
Yeah,
It'll
yeah.
ruin it all.
especially in the Prem. I
Actually,
think
you
the best way to do it is just make it automatised like it is in the
Yeah.
Champions League.
Like, because how
Pretty
do you,
much.
how can you teach defenders right now a whole new way of defending? Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like it's literally just not fair for them. And you're giving attackers all the advantage you want. They already get most 9 times out of 10 they get the advantage in the call anyway, in offside calls. 9 times out of 10,
You think?
yeah, they always get the advantage 9 times out of 10. If it's really like the fine margins, I feel like they always
Oh,
get
yeah,
advantage.
yeah, yeah.
Like right now, you're just gonna give them all the advantage in the world.
I think the reason Wenger mentioned it, I think it was to get rid of scrutiny, innit? He tried to make it as simple as possible because if you see any parts behind the
Yeah.
line, you know there's no
Yeah,
arguing.
yeah,
I think that's what he wanted to
I see
try
where
and
he's
do.
coming from because his rule basically means there's no more controversy.
No
with-
controversy.
But the
That's
thing
what
is,
it is.
also like I'm not even gonna say. Let's say it's like a cross into the box now. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can be pretty much in front of the defender, and you
Yeah,
can and
yeah.
you can just play on be on side.
Yeah.
So like I said, I agree where he's coming from. It gets rid of all subjectivity. The only problem is it affects the game too much.
Too much,
I
yeah.
mean, you weigh
Yeah,
up what you would
obviously.
rather have. I would rather there be some level of subjectivity still, even though people will be annoyed about it week in, week out. But at least it won't change the game as much as changing a rule will be.